is. It's your girl, Sugar Now, blessing you once again with the What Needs Some Sugar podcast.
And we are on episode 25. Now, if you listen to episode 23 and 24, you can realize a theme that's going on here. I am talking about my personal life. So in this episode, I'm going to give you a pregnancy update in the beginning, and then the rest of the episode is just me talking to parents with a child with special needs, specifically autism and just developmental delays, and things that I've learned throughout the years. My daughter is 10, and I don't really have family members that have children with special needs or family members that I can call or ask for advice. So a lot of the things I've learned with raising my daughter, I've actually learned on my own and through experience. And I want to take that experience and help another parent who might not have a family member that they can call directly. Consider me your big cousin that you call and be like, girl, my child is doing blah, blah, blah. And then I'll give you advice. All advice doesn't apply to everyone. So please just take what might apply to you. When talking about kids and parenting, it's already a sensitive subject. But when it comes to special needs parents, when it comes to parents to children with autism, it's like every parent thinks that when you say things, it might be an attack on their parenting. And I want to say firsthand, it is not. Where I'm coming from is a place of love. Where I'm coming from is a place of experience. Where I'm coming from is a place of understanding. And with all that being said, I hope you enjoyed the episode and make sure you leave some fan mail to let me know what you think. All right, let's get to it. So as promised, here goes a pregnancy update. As of this podcast episode, I am 17 weeks pregnant. So that's about 4 months and a week. I had an early growth scan this week and we checked on baby. Everything looks good. The doctor did increase my insulin just a little bit because my morning sugars, my fasting sugars got better. However, my after breakfast sugars still were a little bit out of whack. I had a discussion with the doctor and was being honest. I'm like, I know that my eating habits probably could be better, of course, but I had an honest discussion with the doctor and I said, I know that my breakfast sugars still aren't the best. However, my fasting sugars weren't good either, and I discovered it was because I was not officially doing a fasting sugar. I was getting my daughter ready for school, I was moving around the house, and then I would check my sugar, and by that point, it was in the hundreds, and I'm like, wait, what the hell? I didn't even eat anything. But once I started doing it kind of as soon as I woke up, went to the bathroom, washed my hands, it was normal. I noticed that my sugars go up once I'm done getting my daughter ready for school and once I'm done moving around the house. I eat breakfast kind of as soon as I send her to school because after doing everything I need to do with her in the morning, I am hungry as hell. I have a feeling that my breakfast sugars are normal. I don't really get a break when it comes to my daughter, so I don't know when I'll be able to test this theory, but I have a theory that because I move around so much and I'm just, up and kind of high stress a little bit in the morning time, I think that is what elevates my sugars versus what I'm actually consuming because I have a pretty balanced diet. I would say sometimes I do go overboard when it comes to the carbs. Like I do love me a bagel or a muffin, stuff like that. But I equally love me a fruit and a vegetable. I equally love me a salad, a cucumber salad to be exact. And when I say a cucumber salad, I just mean cucumbers, tomatoes, maybe I'll put a little red onion in it, and that's it. So when I have high sugars, I'm like, I really think it depends on what type of day I had versus what I actually ate that day, if that makes sense. But overall, pregnancy is going good. I'm not having any pain. I do yoga in the morning. I walk my dog for 30 minutes every day. I'm moving around way more in this pregnancy than I did in the last one. But when you know better, you do better. So hopefully everything I'm doing is what I'm supposed to be doing. Now that we know the gender, me and dad are thinking of names, but we agreed when I get my official anatomy scan on April 15th, we would tell friends and family first. And then I would tell, the internet aunties and uncles what we having. So until then, stop trying to guess what I'm having. I can't tell y'all how many times my mom and some of my close friends have been trying to guess what I'm having. Like, it's a this, I know it's a that because you laughing, you smiling. I'm like, whatever your heart desires, that's what I'm having. Now that we got pregnancy updates out the way, it's time for us to talk about the main topic of this week's episode, being a parent to a child with special needs. Before we talk about anything else, I want to give you guys a rundown of my routine with Nyana from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed. In the morning time, we get up around 6:15, 6:30, get her ready for school. Her morning routine consists of brushing her teeth, washing her face, changing her diaper, of course, putting on her clothes, and doing her hair. We put her braces and her shoes on. Now, Nyana wears something called AFOs. They're leg braces that help her stability because she has cerebral palsy and her legs are a little weaker, so they help her walk She got Botox injections throughout the years, and I don't know if it's the same Botox that go in some people's face, but it's to loosen the muscles in her legs, and that helped her heel be flat on the ground. Now that her heel is flat on the ground, the braces are used for stability because she's still kind of getting her balance and getting used to it. And also, she still needs that extra support. Putting on the braces themselves in the morning, I need to make sure I have 5 minutes before the bus get here. If you would like to see that, my TikTok page, Sugarna, Suggahna, look for the May I Vlog playlist. And in that playlist, you can see a couple videos of me getting Nyana ready for school because that was kind of a day in my life type of vlog series. That'll help you see exactly what I'm talking about right now because I do show me putting her braces on. Of course, it's fast forwarded just for entertainment purposes. Our shoe of choice in this household is the Billy shoes because they unzip all the way around. I'm able to open up the shoe, put her foot in there, and then close the shoe up. I've had a very hard time with other types of shoes throughout the years, but I'm so glad I found the Billy shoe and it was recommended to us by, I think, one of her physical therapists. I've stood by that brand and been loyal to that brand since. They are the most convenient shoes. If you have a child who does wear leg braces, it's the easiest. You don't even have to untie those shoes. You just unzip them, put their foot in, zip them up, and send them on their way. Unless I find out some horrible things about that company, I will always recommend them to special needs parents and even other parents whose children might not know how to tie their shoe yet or put their shoe on correctly yet. Like the Billy shoe is not specifically for special needs kids or kids that wear braces. They don't advertise them that way, but I have found them as a special needs parent to be very helpful for me and my child. So once we put Nyana's braces on, we're sending her off to school. Nyana used to drop down to the floor. Actually, she still does, but it's not as bad as it was before. Like, she did not even want to step onto the bus at all. And then in the afternoon, when she came home, she didn't even want to get off the bus. I'm like, girl, make up your mind. In the morning, you don't want to go. In the afternoon, you don't want to come on. But I honestly think with kids with autism or special needs, it's just a transition thing. They're comfortable and settled in the activity that they're doing at the moment. At school, they said she's getting better with her transitions, and sometimes she thinks it's funny when she drops to the ground and just stays there. And now that I'm pregnant and I'm only getting pregnant I can't lift her up the way I used to. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. My daughter is 111 pounds, and I will just pick her ass up and plop her on her feet. Like, no, you're gonna get up and go in the house. We're not playing this game outside. I don't know who you think you are. I don't know why you're not listening to me. I understand this transition might be hard for you. It's an adult, your mom, hey, telling you to do something, and this is what we are doing. Being a single parent to Nyana is very hard for me emotionally sometimes and physically, but more so emotionally because I have to also be a very militant parent with Nyana. I can't just be nice to her all the time like I want to. I can't just be soft with her and be, come on, mommy wants you to come upstairs. Like, that's honestly how I want to talk to my children. That's honestly the type of mom I am. Like, come on, Nye, come on, let's, I'm very nice. I'm very soft spoken when it comes to my baby. However, when she don't want to listen, I gotta put a little bass in that voice and I gotta, look her right in her eyes and be like, you need to get up because I said get up. Now, sometimes there might be a little curse word or two in there, but the curse word gets her ass up a lot of the times. And kids will play with you if you let them, special needs, autism or not, especially with autistic kids, because I don't want to say we tiptoe around their special needs, but I feel like kids know when they can get away with certain stuff. And autistic kids are treated just slightly differently. And we're trying to, understand how their brain is working and how they'll get to understand something versus another child. And I feel like with autistic kids, they still know what the fuck is going on. They just like, oh, okay, they think I don't know how to do this, so I'm not going to do this. And it's like, oh, and then sometimes you catch them and you're like, oh, yeah, uh-huh. It's like, oh, okay. So you do know how to do X, Y, and Z. All right. It depends on who you around. Bet. Got it. Okay. Once I send Nyana to school, I do everything that I have to do throughout the day. Now let's fast forward. She gets home from school. Like, let's say I had a difficult time getting her off the van, in the house, up the steps, all of that stuff. When we get in here, you're not getting your iPad for the rest of the day. You might not even get to watch TV. You might have to just go in your room and I might not let you play with your toys. That is how I discipline my child. She loves that iPad. She loves watching Peppa Pig and Barney and the Grinch and SpongeBob and all that shit. You are on punishment. And I try to talk to her and I try to say those words so she knows, like, okay, what's happening right now is punishment because of X, Y, and Z. I try to explain the whole process to my daughter, but lately I noticed me saying it really doesn't matter. So I'll just take her iPad away from her, turn her TV off, and just walk away without saying two words. And also, I noticed recently, I do not have to repeat myself. My daughter understands what I said the first time. For the longest time, I thought I had to repeat myself so she understands what I'm saying. Like, and then I realized one day, I'm like, for example, I'll say, Nayana, it's time to go sit on the potty. And I'll either start walking to the bathroom or I just stand there and I start looking towards the bathroom. I won't make eye contact with Nayana directly. Before, I'll be like, come on, Nayana, get up. Let's go to the potty. Come on, Nayana, we got to go sit on the potty. Come on, Nayana, go to the potty. And I'll keep repeating it and she won't move. Now I notice I'll say that shit once, start walking to the bathroom, and guess who's tiptoeing behind me and making her way to the bathroom? Nayana. If that's something that you're having an issue with your child, I would say try to say something to them once and then just start doing or walking towards the thing that you're telling them to do. One thing I noticed about my baby is she really does store a lot of the information or a lot of the conversation she's heard or a lot of the phrases because you'll think that she's not listening to you. And then, like 2 or 3 weeks later, 2 or 3 days later, she'll repeat something that you said the other day. And I'm just like, oh, you were acting like you didn't hear me. You were acting like you didn't understand. And now all of a sudden you saying it like you understand exactly what I was saying. Okay, girl. Also seeing that in my daughter, I'm like, see, I'm done repeating myself because you heard what I said the first time. All right, girl, bet. I'm glad you remember that a couple days later. But now you done told on yourself. Now I know that you heard me. So now moving forward, I'm not repeating myself. You just proved to me that you heard me the first time. Now, Nyana doesn't always listen to me when I tell her to do something, or she doesn't always take kindly to me taking her iPad away or turning the TV off. Nyana has really bad behaviors when she does have a behavior. Her thing now is hitting herself in the forehead, and that is her way of showing her frustration. Now, before she would hit her head on the ground. She doesn't really do that anymore. And also, she's just getting out of biting herself. She would bite herself on her arm when she was frustrated. She's kind of getting over that too. Her new thing now is to hit herself in the head with the palm of her hand. My response to that sometimes is no response, but also if she's getting too out of hand with it, where I feel like she's hitting herself too much, I do tell her, stop, boo boo, be nice to yourself. And she be like, be nice? Yes, boo boo, be nice to yourself. Stop hitting yourself in the head. I understand you're frustrated, but you do not need to hit yourself in the head. I know some people say don't acknowledge the bad behavior, but really think about it. I'm not about to let my child bang her fucking head. I'm not about to let it go on for too long. Like, she'll do it once or twice and I might not say nothing, but if she does it again and again and again, it's just like, boo boo, no, stop, be nice to yourself. Don't hit yourself in the head. And like I said, she'll repeat after me. She'll be like, be nice to yourself. Yes, be nice to yourself. Girl, why are you hitting yourself in the head? Use your words. Are you frustrated? How do you feel right now? And sometimes I won't even ask her, is she frustrated? I know she's frustrated. And I'll say to her, I know you're frustrated. Mommy took your iPad away, but mommy took your iPad away because A, B, and C. And then that'll make her mad again. I at least try to give her an understanding on why a privilege of hers is being taken away. And it's not easy dealing with those type of behaviors. I don't know how y'all children have a behavior. I would say at home, that's as far as her behaviors go. It's just her hitting herself in the head. I try to stop it as soon as possible, or sometimes I don't acknowledge it and she just stops on her own. I know at school, they told me that she's bitten a couple people and she still might try to bang her head on the floor. And I try to talk to her about it when she has those days and the teacher does report back to me. But I also think that Nyana knows that she can get away with certain stuff at school because they can't reprimand her or talk to her the way I do. Like I said, sometimes I'll tell her to stop your shit and she knows exactly what I'm talking about, why I'm saying it, and that she needs to stop her shit. At school, they got to handle her way more delicately. They cannot curse at her and they can't really talk too stern to her. However, I did notice her behavior at school got better once she got a black aide. And I said that's because she understands the cadence and the way we talk and the sternness in our voice. No disrespect to the aide she had before, but Nyana definitely could get away with a lot more things with that aide than her black aide. And my daughter loves that aide because she says her name all the time. She asks for her on the weekends. She asks for her when she gets home from school. I would say that goes into your child knowing what they can get away with and what they can't with who. Certain things her teacher has reported to me, I'm like, I'm so sorry. She does not do that at home. I'll try to talk to her about it and I'll try to straighten it out on my end. But I just want to let you know I do not experience that type of behavior at home. For the most part, though, my daughter has very good days at school and good behaviors at school. Now, this year, they have reported to me that she's bitten staff, I believe, twice, and she's had a few behaviors, but nothing compared to how she was. I don't want to say last year, but the year before. The year before, I don't know if Nyana didn't like her teacher or her aide or her classmates. I don't know what it was, but almost every single day, her teacher had a bad report for Nyana. Like, when she was getting on the bus, she tried to do that. She wouldn't let us do this. She wouldn't let us do that. She threw her food across the room. She bit somebody in the face. Like, my daughter was having a very, very rough time at school. And it just seemed like once she got a new teacher and a new aide, and I also want to attribute it to my daughter maturing. Sometimes kids act the way they act because they're 3 or they're 4, but once they start to grow up a little bit, they kind of grow out of certain behaviors. I think I said before, my daughter kind of acts like a 3 or 4 year old. So some of her behaviors, I look at it like, okay, is she acting like a 3 or 4 year old, or is she really just showing her ass right now? That helps me understand my daughter's behaviors a little bit more when I remind myself that cognitively she is acting like a 3 or 4 year old. And I'm like, how would you handle a 3 or 4 year old having this behavior right now? Besides her having special needs, how would you reprimand a 3 or 4 year old right now? How would you react to a 3 or 4 year old doing what she is doing right now, special needs all the way to the side? That's another piece of advice for you guys if you have a child with special needs or a developmental delay. Try to figure out developmentally what age your child is functioning at, and then think about it like, okay, how would I handle a 2 year old doing X, Y, and Z? Yes, in a normal circumstance, you're 10 years old. Why are you acting like this? Why are you throwing a tantrum as if you're 2? Then you have to remind yourself that functionally, cognitively, their brain is a 2 year old's brain. So that gives you a chance to take a step back, hopefully, and reevaluate the situation and ask yourself, if I had a 2 year old in front of me, how would I handle this situation right now if she was actually 2 years old? And then you go from there. Now, that doesn't work all the time. Sometimes, like I said, children know better and they just take advantage of the situation. Sometimes you might have to treat that 10-year-old like a 10-year-old, even though cognitively they are 2. I told y'all sometimes how I have to get a little beefy with my daughter when she doesn't want to get up. You are 10 years old and you are 100 and something pounds. And you're not a 3 or 4 year old that I could just scoop up and bring in the house. Like, you really need to listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth. When I tell you to get up, we get up. Besides having little behaviors like that in the home, overall, the rest of our day is pretty chill. I'll give Nyana her iPad, or I'll let her watch some TV, or I just talk to her. Or sometimes she just be wanting to sit next to me and I just have regular conversations with her. Nyana has to go through her mental script and get everything she wants to say out before she even responds to anything you asked her. I'll ask Nyana how her day was, and I won't get my answer for another 5 minutes because she's asking about her aide, or she's asking about another teacher at school, or she's asking about the dog, or she's talking about the weather. Like, Nyana makes sure she gets everything she needs to say out, and then you could just see the moment where she's ready to respond to you. It really is. Now that I got that out, what you say? You asked me about my day. It was good. It was good. I had a good day at school. Mind you, you just had to wait for her to stem out. And mind you, I think that's her stemming is her going through her little mental script. So I just let her stem out. And then I'd be like, hey, remember what I asked you? How was your day? And then she'll tell me how her day was. I remember when there was a point in time where they said Nyana wouldn't talk, Nyana wouldn't do a whole bunch of stuff. I don't want to pat myself on the back, but I'm giving myself the biggest pat on the back because I feel like because I talk so much to Nyana and around her and I listen to music so much around her that my daughter's speech developed beautifully throughout the years because I literally talk to my baby. Like, I talk to her like she knows exactly what I'm saying, even if I feel like she might not understand at that time. My daughter surprises me with so much things that come out of her mouth. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even know you knew how to say that. I didn't even know you knew what that was. I didn't even know that you were listening to me. I didn't know that you heard that. Now, me being honest, certain things, I'm like, oh, you were listening to my conversation. Yeah, it's time for me to watch what I say, or it's time for me to speak in code. I'm still trying to figure out how to get Nyana to not repeat certain things. Like, if she says something, I don't want to just say, no, don't say that, because the actual words that she's saying might not be wrong. It's just, it might be my business or somebody else's business. And I don't want you to repeat that phrase. but it's also like you wanted your child to talk, right? You wanted your child to be able to repeat things or understand things. Beggars can't be choosers. Like I said, now I realize I'm just going to have to say certain things in code or not talk about certain things when my baby is present and within earshot of me, or make sure she has her headphones in. But sometimes you don't know. A kid might still be listening, might pause their YouTube video just to be nosy. I know I used to do that. Not necessarily YouTube video, but when I was a kid, I would stop playing my music or take one headphone out or act like I'm not paying attention when I really am. Kids are kids. So, and that's normal when a child is growing up. At some point, they try to be in grown folks' business, and you just got to learn to speak in code or not talk around them, period. On to the nighttime routine. So, I tried to have Nyana in the shower by 6:30 the latest, so that she could be in her room laying down by 7 and ready to go to sleep by 8:30. We got our nighttime routine down packed. Nyana knows, let's go to the bathroom so you can get in the shower, and then you're going to get your medicine and go in your room and lay down. I don't really have any issues with Nyana at nighttime getting her settled down for the day, because it's almost like now that she's older, she can't wait to get in the shower and lay down and watch her shows and go to bed. It's like I barely have any resistance when it comes to her nighttime routine. Of course, I have to help her shower, help her get dressed. However, once she's dressed, she knows to turn the bathroom light out and go in her room. I put something on the TV for her and she's in there laying down, and eventually she just naturally falls asleep. There's rarely times where I have to tell her, like, it's time for you to go to bed now, unless she gets that iPad, and she'll stay up all night if the iPad is charged all night. That's one thing that I've had to take away from her at a certain time throughout the day. I do not let her keep her iPad past 8 o'clock unless it's the weekend. And even on the weekend, if she's not asleep by 10:30, give me that iPad, girl. I'll put something on the TV, but you got to give me the iPad because it don't seem like you're going to go to sleep anytime soon. Being a parent to a child with special needs is hard, and I think that goes without saying. However, for some, it is harder physically than it is mentally. For me, it's harder mentally than it is physically. Although physically, now that I'm pregnant, I need to outsource help and I need to actually look for an aid for her. Like, pregnant or not, I can't keep picking you up. You're just going to get heavier, and one day you're probably going to be the same size as me. Maybe not weight wise, but my daughter is 5 foot. I am 5'5". She has 5 more inches to grow, and my daughter is the same height as me. Girl, we only got so much time left where you're shorter than me, and things are a little bit easier for me. Mentally, it's hard for me because I am literally giving my daughter all the patience and grace that I have in my body, every ounce of it. And some days I'm finding grace and patience that I didn't even know I had, because I'm like, wow, what you're doing right now, it is very hard for me to be calm right now. And somehow I am calm. I had to talk about that with my therapist one time because I'm just like, unless you live this life, you don't fully understand it. I'm just reminded on a day to day that I don't have much support and it's up to me to figure everything out. And I'm the one that's directly dealing with behaviors and having to find the grace and the patience. I don't get a break and some for a day or two where I truly can just be by myself to decompress and, get myself back in order. But I had like an extended break. I need like a week or two sometimes, but that's not in the cards for me. Just a day or two will do so I could decompress and just honestly relax, realign myself. Y'all already know we need a break from our kids. We still miss them like 24 hours later. We like, damn, you bet. Get on my damn nerves, but I miss my baby. Bring her home. And that's a wrap. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the Need Some Sugar podcast. Please make sure you are leaving fan mail. I really would appreciate it because I want to know what you guys are thinking. These last couple episodes have been very personal and very near and dear to my heart. I just wanted my audience to see and know and hear that I am a real person with real life struggles of my own before I start talking about celebrities and whatever the fuck they got going on that we really don't care about for real in our real lives. I just want to let y'all know who I am and what I go through on a day-to-day basis. I want to talk about being a parent, things that have led to me being the person that I am today. Hopefully you've been enjoying these last 3 episodes, way more personal episodes to come. I'm trying to figure out which day of the week I want to go live on YouTube so that I can have like an actual video for y'all to go back to versus audio. I know some people like to see the visuals. However, if you listen to the audio, though, you could put your AirPods in and clean your house. By the time you're done cleaning your house, you done listen to me talk my shit and your house is clean. I mean, that's a win in my book, if you ask me. Remember, you can support the show for as little as $3 a month, cancel anytime. It's no commitment. If you cannot offer monetary support, please know that support also looks like liking videos that you see, commenting on videos that you see, sharing and tagging family and friends and letting them know that this is the number one podcast that they need to be listening to. Getting to my girl, Sugar Nah. She is the best. She is the shit, and we love her. She's your favorite cousin, favorite cousin. And with all that being said, I always say it's good, but it needs some sugar. Bye.